Chad says I should open up this episode with welcome to the fun-size edition of Bonehead.
Welcome to this fun-size edition of Bonehead
Welcome
Weekly.
to a fun-size edition of this Bonehead.
This fun size, not A. It's just not some generic.
Welcome to Bonehead Fun-Size this edition. We each wanted to pick our favorite Mick Garris project, whether that be something he produced, wrote, directed, or all of the above. I'll go first. I had a really hard time because I actually wanted to do two versions of this where we did the non-King adaptions and the King adaptions. And my issue is one of my favorite movies of his is a King adaptation, but it's the one that gets absolutely no credit. And to me, it's his most personal film because it actually elevates the work. We all know we've done so many episodes on Stephen King. Stephen King's my favorite living author, and it is Riding the Bullet. And Riding the Bullet is about a kid who finds out his mother is dying, and he needs to get back to her, and he hitchhikes his way back. But Riding the Bullet is Mick Garris' most personal film.
Probably also David Arquette's second best role.
My second, really quick, can I say, his Psycho 4 is way better than any movie called Psycho 4 has any right to be.
So for my pick, I was going to pick what is considered the best Easter movie of all time. I've said it numerous times.
I just assumed that's what you were going to do.
No, I am going to go for one that he just wrote because I feel like it's forgotten. The Battery's Not Included. Mick wrote it. It was actually originally intended to be an amazing episode of Amazing Stories, but they thought it was too good of a story, so they made it into a feature film.
The story was too amazing to be part of an amazing story.
Fantastic to be an amazing story.
No, but again, brief synopsis. The movie tells a story of alien robots that are tiny flying saucers, and they help the residents of an apartment building that is slowly falling apart and facing destruction. This is one of those feel-good movies that has kind of disappeared in passing years. People just don't talk about it.
It's one of my wife's favorite movies.
And it was one of my favorites as a kid as well. And I watched it a few years ago, and it still holds up in my opinion. It's really feel good from the beginning to end. And I would love to see it gather the cult following that it deserves. So Battery's Not Included is my pick.
All right, James.
I had to go with one that he wrote as well because I admire, I think Mick being multi-talented. I mean, he has directed, he's done all that stuff. I literally would beat to death by my wife if I didn't mention Hocus Pocus. However you feel about
he never gets that.
Well, no, but I have a follow-up. But Hocus Pocus.
Tell me more about Stephen King, Mick.
Oh, my God. Mick, if you haven't seen any of these, Joe did 5 episodes. Now, he claims we were part of them, but I don't remember a single thing about them. But Hocus Pocus, has so many great things going for it. I got to mention Doug Jones because I'm a huge Doug Jones fan. The other thing about it is, speaking of cult following, it's really funny to me because I got an email from Disney today, the Disney store. It was all, buy stuff for Halloween. And I think it's really funny that probably 10 years ago, Hocus Pocus had a cult following, but there wasn't lots of merchandise.
They released it in the summer. They didn't even release it at Halloween. It was just a drop.
And if you're ever near Hattiesburg, Mississippi, one of the coolest things that goes on there, the historic Sanger Theater, they annually do a showing of Hocus Pocus. And it sells out, and you get to see it with a crowd. I took my wife because my wife does love that film. But I love it now that I have kids because it is a Halloween movie. It does very much have a Halloween movie feel that I can watch with my kids. I was going to say, I wanted to honorably mention one other thing. Mick Garris wrote Michael Jackson's Ghost, and everybody knows Thriller. Not a lot of people know Ghost. You should check out, and if you can find the full 39-minute film, because Michael Jackson, however you feel about him, he made music videos. They were movies. And Mick Garris was involved in Ghost. So if you have never seen it,
so was Stan Winston. There's a long story here that Mick could tell us about someday. And if you decide to come on the show, Mick, you could talk about that, or we can talk about your time in Amazing Stories, or maybe AFCO Embassy, or we could talk about horse feathers, whatever you'd like to talk about, Mick. This has been Bonehead Weekly Fun Size. Mick Garris, you are invited on Bonehead Weekly anytime you'd like to come, even though you've already told me no once a couple years ago. Thank you so much.
And thank you for your years of work, Mick.